Do you like black people? If you're in downtown St. Louis, there's really only one answer to that question. You must look at the people asking you that question, pull a gun out, and say, do you like guns? Because in St. Louis, that's code word for we are about to beat the piss out of you, you crazy white people, because you are, making us relentless victims of your relentless white racism, and we're going to square things up right now. The first story we're going to see here comes out of St. Louis, and it usually takes the reporters involved in these stories at least 30 seconds before they start lying their butts off. Now here they start it right away when she said, "This is the story that has everyone in awe." No, nobody in St. Louis is surprised when you report black on white violence. Nobody's surprised when you report the knockout game. That's what this is.
More details on an attack that's left so many people in awe. A deaf man beaten by these people in this surveillance video. It happened Saturday night on the corner of Euclid and Lindell in the Central West End. News 4's Eric Cox found one man who says he knows why the victim was targeted.
Yeah, good evening, Courtney and Steve. Police say the victim was doing something that countless people do each and every single day, simply walking down Euclid Avenue here in the Central West End when he was attacked. Now, earlier today, I spoke with a man who tells me that he and his loved ones were almost assaulted by the same suspects.
We saw the video on your TV station, and it's the same group of boys.
News 4 talked to a man who wishes to remain anonymous, but says he was out walking along Euclid Avenue in the Central West End with his family and friends Saturday night, when this group of 5 people seen on surveillance footage approached them with a question.
Do you like black people?
He says the uncomfortable question caught them off guard, but still, they answered.
And the person in our group responded yes. And they then kept on walking the opposite direction.
It wasn't long until this man says he realized the group they encountered were the same ones behind an attack on a deaf man minutes later.
He didn't get to respond to him because he didn't hear him.
St. Louis police say the victim needed stitches after being hit multiple times in the face and head.
If we had not said what they wanted to hear, it would have been us.
Now he wonders what could be done to keep people safe in the Central West End.
I don't have the answer to it, but I know that we do need more police presence for sure.
I used to play golf with a deaf person from time to time when I lived in California. And this guy, it was amazing. You could scream at him in his backswing, he wouldn't hear a thing. But if you turned around and looked at you, he could understand every single thing you said. And he told us one time about something that happened the night before. He was in a convenience store, and all of a sudden he felt somebody like shoving him. And he turned around, and he turned out that some black person had mentioned something to him, but he didn't reply. He was deaf. And it took him a while to calm the situation down, to explain he was deaf and he couldn't hear him because the black person was getting ready to assault him for not showing enough respect. Much like that Hispanic woman must not have shown that black gentleman the respect because he said she used the N-word. Most of the time, that's a lie. Most of the time that we hear it under these circumstances on the end of some kind of act of violence, where the black person or black people come out after beating the piss out of some white people, Asian people, young people, old people, gay people, straight people, kitties, puppies, turtles, and goldfish. When they come out, when they're finished with their mayhem and the cops show up, they just look around and go, "What? They dropped an N-bomb on me." And dropping the N-bomb at a convenience store, that makes the black kids angry.